we're gonna react, or I'm gonna break it down. Sam Sulek, if you don't know, is a huge, big ass bodybuilder type of dude, right? He can lift like 400 pounds when he bench presses. He's 22 years old. He's jacked. He's a former athlete that did swimming, so he was technically a athlete. But he's saying he could take down a professional boxer, which I don't disagree with. I think he would be able to use his brute force, his brute strength to take down this professional boxer, right?
Sam Sulek explains why any bodybuilder can easily take down boxers in a street fight.
So look, I'm not delusional, okay? I know that skill exists, but I think I could take a 150-pounder, honestly. I'm not asking for a tussle, of course. More likely than not, if I even tried to tussle around with somebody, I'd like pull my hamstring off and like rip my rotator cuff into bits. But a 100-pound difference, I think that's a little bit too substantial. This is reference to the top comment of the last video. But let's just see how the freaking back looks. Quick little pose down. I definitely think my traps and lats and teres major and rhomboids and everything freaking else under the sun has been well stimulated. Let's get some spreads, get some fucking double bi shots, and then roll. So I feel pretty fucking pumped already. Oh my goodness. Oh, some pretty solid width if I've ever seen it. Oh, oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's roll. Let's get the car, god dang it.
Real 155-pound grappler type of guy, like a Khabib, Tony Ferguson, somebody like that, or even somebody smaller like Demetrius Johnson, and have his way with them. I really don't, because you guys got to realize, a 265-pound man who doesn't train combat sports, there's a different level of cardio and a different level of athletics that goes into it, right? Just look at Bradley Martyn, and I'm playing the clip as you can see right here. Bradley Martyn was taking down Bryan Callen, and you go, of course he was, because Bryan Callen's a 160-pound regular man who trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know how often he trains, but he trains enough that he became a blue belt. But as you can see in the video, he was able to take him down, muscle him with his size, strength, and brutality, right? But because Bryan Callen, as a trained jiu-jitsu guy, was able to use his jiu-jitsu, and he used the jiu-jitsu to elevate him and get him out of that position. He got him in a butterfly guard and elevate him. A butterfly guard is where your feet are kind of like a butterfly, and you're elevating the person's hips, and that's exactly what they were doing. He elevated Bradley Martyn's hips, so Bradley Martyn was sweeping somebody, right? And he was able to sweep Bradley Martyn, but because he was up against the wall, he didn't really have the technique to fully do the position. If he was more athletic and this was like a real fight, he might have been able to do a little bit more. But Bradley, once he swept him, because he didn't have any body locks or any body control, was able to basically, again, use his size, strength, and brutality to push Bryan down. So Bryan ended up getting taken down again. But a regular trained athlete like a Frankie Edgar, Tony Ferguson, Khabib, these dudes who train wrestling and have good grappling would definitely be able to handle a 265-pound, no nonsense, no training type of guy. Even Bradley Martyn has called out like other fighters. He called out Nate Diaz on his podcast. He said, hey, he's like, who would win, me or you, in a street fight? And his comment back to him was like, dude, you're just a podcaster, man. Like, I would light you up. And that's exactly what he would do. He would light him up. A trained boxer would have foot movement, and he would know how to move in a way that a regular man can't, because he's going to have the foot movement. He could throw jabs. He could throw different angles, while the average man is just trying to grab, right? And an average man in a combat scenario is going to get tired and is going to gas. Others think they could take on actual athletes in the combat space and dominate them. If you put Nick Diaz in a ring with Bradley Martyn, yeah, Bradley's going to try to tackle him or do other things, but with the technique that he has, he's going to be able to get submitted like that. Even a Conor McGregor, who's not great on the ground, will be able to either stuff a takedown, or when he gets on the ground, pull off a submission. Because I'm not a trained fighter, and the dude kicked me, and I'm like, where'd that come from? And you're like, whoa. And he's just tapping me with kicks, tapping me with punches. Like, he's just going, and I'm like, and I had headgear and I had gloves on, but I could not, for the life of me, see the angles that he was throwing these kicks and punches. That's going to happen with these Sam Sulek type dudes. They're not going to see the punches or the kicks or the leg lock coming out of nowhere. They're not going to even know what happened, because you might be just holding the guy down while he can transition into an armbar or a guillotine or a rear naked choke, and you're physically not going to see that happening. And that was it. And these guys were in there like, I'm going to smash this man, and they got choked out, and they didn't understand, how the hell did he choke me out when I was going to smash this man? Clear as day, they didn't know what they were doing on the ground. So that's my take on why Sam Sulek would have no chance against a regular MMA guy or somebody who has some technique of some sort.